The setting is the year 2092. Earth has become nearly uninhabitable. In this dystopian world, a corporation called UTS serves as a rare source of light. UTS founder and CEO, James Sullivan, has built a temporary home for a select group of people in the orbits, while the rest of humanity either waits for a slow death on Earth or works as part of scavenging crews named Space Sweepers that retrieve deadly space debris. Kim Tae-ho, a crew member of a ship dubbed the Victory, goes to a UTS lost and found to exchange a bag of rice for a look at the last deceased body found. However, he is turned away, and his magnetic shoes are confiscated at his request. Then a UTS guard directs him to a morgue, hoping he might find his lost adopted daughter, Suni. Unfortunately, his search proves fruitless as the body recovered is not Suni's. Meanwhile, reporters from around the world gather to meet Sullivan. He presents himself to the reporters with a rejuvenated appearance and shares his vision of cultivating life on Mars using a super plant known as the Tree of Life. Despite Sullivan's optimistic plans, the reporters seem unimpressed. One journalist raises concerns that his plans benefit only the wealthy, leaving the rest of the population behind. Sullivan does not refute this and suggests discussing it further at another time. At a solar battery charging station in space, crews of space sweepers rush to collect a large piece of debris. As other space sweepers pursue the junk, the Victory crew approaches. This ship is operated by Tae-ho, Bubs, Tiger Park, and is commanded by Captain Young. The crew has built a reputation as top-notch space sweepers, gaining respect in their field. The other sweepers grow cautious at their arrival. Bubs, a droid, handles maintenance duties on the Victory. Tiger, a former drug dealer, is the ship's mechanical engineer, and Jung, the leader, is a child prodigy and special forces operative who escaped from UTS. Jung instructs Tae-ho to speed up as Bubs expertly hooks a harpoon to the space debris, attaching it to their ship. In no time, the Victory seizes the debris and evades the other crews. Jung and Tiger work together, with Tiger manually boosting the engine. The other crews eventually give up their pursuit as the Victory heads toward a large solar panel, steering effortlessly. The crew then proceeds to the waste management satellite to sell their collection. They earn a significant amount, but it is quickly absorbed by their mounting debts and taxes, leaving little for their own needs. Additionally, the UTS cashier declines to accept their debris because the satellite's storage is already full. During their transaction, breaking news reports that Dorothy, a child-shaped android, has gone missing. Dorothy is described as a weapon of mass destruction and is supposedly stolen by a group called Black Fox. Later, the crew kills time and hunger by playing cards. During their game, Tiger reveals that some of their supplies, including their toolbox, battery, and a bag of rice, are missing. He suspects theft from their ship and questions the crew. Tae-ho, who is guilty, remains silent while Tiger questions Jung. The often intoxicated Jung dismisses Tiger and urges him to continue the game. As their argument escalates, Bubs reminds them of their looming loan deadline. Overwhelmed by Bubs' constant reminders, Tae-ho tells the droid to stop. The tension erupts into a brawl inside the Victory. Jung, Tae-ho, and Tiger collapse on the floor as Bubs sighs in frustration upon seeing their bank account balance. After some time, Bubs and Tiger conduct a checkup on the ship's condition in space. While Tiger floats in a spacesuit, Bubs sits atop the ship, reviewing skin grafting procedures in hopes of transitioning to a female form. They notice movement from the large space debris they had previously collected. Tae-ho joins them, and they discover Dorothy inside the debris. The crew is uncertain about what to do with the child. Tae-ho and Dorothy share a moment that reminds him of his adopted daughter before he walks away. Suddenly, the ship's software alerts them with news about Dorothy. The crew, fearing that Dorothy might self-destruct, nervously ducks for cover. Instead, Dorothy sneezes and innocently mimics their actions. They flee from Dorothy, locking themselves in a room. In a panic, they decide to tie Dorothy outside the ship, but their attempt fails. Tiger also contacts the police about Dorothy. Tae-ho later discovers a phone in Dorothy's bag with several missed calls from someone named Kang Hyun-yu. Meanwhile, Dorothy wanders the ship, bored and clueless, and uses her nanotechnology powers to revive a withering plant. The crew meets in a tavern to discuss Dorothy. They learn that both the UTS space guards and the Black Fox are searching for her. With no financial gain from involving the police, Tae-ho proposes selling Dorothy to the Black Fox for money. Although Jang is hesitant, Tae-ho convinces the rest of the crew. Back on the Victory, the crew keeps their distance from the child. They monitor her through security cameras and observe her drawing on the wall of Tiger's quarters. Soon after, the crew investigates Dorothy's smartphone and successfully contacts Kang, whom they suspect is affiliated with the Black Fox. The two parties agree to meet at a nightclub, and the crew excitedly anticipates the financial gain. Tiger returns to his room, where Dorothy is still present. She shows him her drawing of him, and they gradually form a bond. Meanwhile, a police officer unexpectedly arrives at the Victory. The officer inspects the ship, noting their illegal modifications. The crew also observes that the plant on the ship is thriving and continuously growing. The officer questions Tiger about his call to confirm the report, but they remain silent. The officer notices Tiger's gestures towards Dorothy, who is hiding in another room. He enters the room with suspicion and begins to search. Just as he is about to find Dorothy, Jung and the rest of the crew confront him. They blackmail the officer, accusing him of accepting bribes, and force him to leave the Victory to prevent him from reporting reporting to UTS. Afterward, Dorothy emerges and gives Jang a thumbs up. At the nightclub, Tae-ho and Tiger arrive with Dorothy concealed in a bag. Tiger's growing attachment to the child leads him to question Tae-ho about Dorothy's fate after the deal. Tae-ho reassures him that Dorothy is not an ordinary child and there is no need to worry. They finally meet Kang, a doctor specializing in nanomedicine. The exchange involves $2 million for Dorothy. However, Kang discovers the bag is empty, as Dorothy has wandered to the dance floor. Jang instructs the crew to find Dorothy before she is recognized. The crowd in the club begins to notice her as the music fades. They stare in fear as UTS guards begin a shootout. Kang calls out to Dorothy using her Korean name, Kotnim. Tae-ho and Tiger locate Dorothy and prepare to escape when a UTS guard spots them. The guard fires at them, but Dorothy creates a protective shield around them. Jang is astonished as she watches the events unfold through the ship's remote access. Back on the Victory, the crew expresses their frustration over the failed deal. They learn that Dorothy's real name is Kotnim. While the rest of the crew warms up to her, Tae-ho remains wary, still perceiving Kotnim as a potential threat. The crew returns to the maintenance hangar to repair their engine. Kotnim knocks on Tae-ho's door to borrow scissors, but he initially dismisses her. Eventually, he relents and gives her the scissors. Together, they harvest tomatoes from the plant inside the ship and sell them to other space sweepers in the hangar. Later, Bubs and Kotnim bond over a makeup session, during which Bubs recounts Tae-ho's past and his adopted daughter, Suni. Kotnim learns that Tae-ho was once a UTS child soldier. During a raid on a ship carrying fleeing non-citizens, Tae-ho found a baby and decided to adopt her, defying UTS regulations. His attachment to Suni prevented him from harming others, leading to his dismissal and banishment from the UTS orbit home. Suni was separated from him during a space debris collision and can only be found with the costly aid of UTS services. At this moment, Kang calls to arrange another meeting for the deal. Bubs and Tae-ho eagerly anticipate the payment, while Tiger suggests keeping Kotnim. Jang reviews documents in Kotnim's backpack while drinking. As Kotnim heads to the restroom in the maintenance hangar, a masked man follows and abducts her. Tae-ho and Tiger rescue Kotnim but are soon confronted by a group of masked individuals, led by Karum. After a skilled confrontation, they discover that the masked figures are fellow space sweepers affiliated with the Black Fox. In their lounge, the crew confronts the space debris collectors. Jang reveals that Kotnim is a human child, the daughter of nanorobotic scientist Kang Hyun-woo. She also discloses that the Black Fox are not terrorists but an environmental group. Karum explains that the Black Fox aims to restore Earth's habitability, and Kotnim's unique abilities, stemming from nanobots injected into her body to cure her congenital disease, could help revive the planet's dead vegetation. Sullivan, meanwhile, continues to pursue Kotnim for his Mars development project. The space guards soon arrive at the hangar and commence their search for Kotnim. The newly formed team divides as Tiger, Jang, and Bubs join Karum and the Black Fox. Tae-ho and Kotnim make their escape through the air vents, but a space guard discovers them. The space guards soon track the Victory and fire at the ship, while the other guard targets Tae-ho's location. After a fierce struggle, Kotnim and the crew manage to escape the hangar. The space guards continue their pursuit through space, and Tae-ho takes over piloting the ship. They are hit by an attack that damages Victory's engine, causing a crash towards the Lagrangian point, a dangerous cosmic cloud filled with deadly nanobots. As the ship enters the hazardous cloud, the nanobots infiltrate it rapidly. The ship is enveloped by nanobots, but they dissipate once Kotnim uses her powers. And so, the Victory successfully navigates through the Lagrangian point. Exhausted, Kotnim collapses, prompting the crew to rush to her aid. She soon awakens, and they share a moment of relief and laughter. Tae-ho catches Kotnim in his room and asks why she hasn't drawn him yet. Kotnim reveals that she has drawn him but is too afraid to show it. She presents her drawing and the two talk about Suni. Later, Tiger prepares Kotnim's hair for their meeting with Kang. The Victory arrives at the rendezvous point with Kang. Karum calls to confirm their location, and the crew meets with Kang to deliver Kotnim. Just then, UTS guards, under Sullivan's orders, surround them. They cut off the power, disabling Bubs and the ship's engines. The space guards then kidnap Kotnim and eliminate Kang, Karum, and the rest of the Black Fox. Sullivan offers to double the payment previously agreed with Kang if the crew abandons Kotnim. Sullivan departs, and Tae-ho decides to accept the money. However, the rest of the crew refuses the offer and opts to save Kotnim. Tae-ho then takes the money to UTS services and is provided with Suni's belongings. He discovers a note in Suni's writing notebook expressing her desire to be good like him, which moves him deeply. Determined, Tae-ho takes back the money and rejoins the crew to rescue Kotnim. They make urgent repairs and modifications to the Victory and head towards Kotnim's location. Meanwhile, Sullivan announces his plan to the UTS citizens, revealing his intent to abandon Earth and make Mars the only habitable planet. Sullivan straps Kotnim to a hydrogen bomb, creating a massive threat that could destroy both her and Earth. A fierce battle ensues as the Victory approaches the UTS factory and encounters missiles. missiles. Jang and Bubs neutralize the missiles while Tae-ho and Tiger navigate the ship. They reach the factory and detach Cotton-im from the bomb. Jang discovers the bomb cannot be defused, and that Cotton-im must be moved far enough away for her nanobots to remain effective. The crew is disheartened by the news but resolves to cover the required distance of 5,000 kilometers. An elite space guard tries to prevent their escape. Tiger fights the space guard but is overpowered. However, he's able to eject the space guard from the ship and they speed away. Jang sends a message to other space sweepers, urging them to fight the UTS attackers for survival. The victory accelerates, racing to cover the necessary distance. Meanwhile, a recorded message of Sullivan's true intentions reaches both Earth and UTS citizens, causing shock. Sullivan intercepts the victory with his own ship and demands Cotton-im's surrender, injuring Jang and Bubs in the process. Tae-ho and Tiger resort to activating the ship's emergency booster, so Jang climbs outside the ship to engage the booster, propelling them further into space. They narrowly escape Sullivan's ship and achieve the 5,000-kilometer distance. It is revealed that the crew didn't bring Cotton-im with them, knowing Sullivan would pursue her. Instead, they carried the bomb to ensure Cotton-im's safety with other space sweepers. The victory crew bids farewell messages to each other and brings the bomb close to Sullivan's ship. The bomb explodes, killing Sullivan. However, Cotton-im uses her powers to communicate with the Lagrangian nanobots to shield the crew, saving them from the explosion. In the aftermath of the battle, UTS apologizes for the cover-up of the true goals and promises to help make Earth more habitable. Cotton-im is adopted by the crew and, using her powers, enables Tae-ho to speak to Sung-hee for the last time. Sung-hee is already out of human reach, but this conversation helps him find closure and move on with his life. Bubs gets her skin graft. The four of them are still space sweepers. As for the Earth, the planet is healing with Cotton-im's help. New plants are sprouting every day and the animals are making a return. With that, the movie ends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.